We got there in the end.
Cheers, bro.
No worries.
Oh, one of them. Right, welcome to the stream, everyone. Getting ready to draw some cars. Let's do this. Sophia says, what supplies do we need? Just a pencil or a pen, anything you've got to draw on will be absolutely fine. So welcome. Thank you for joining me for this sort of practice session. Tonight we're drawing cars, and we're going to look at loads of things. Drawing them in perspective, the character, the shape of cars, wheels, how we get some movement as well. So lots of good stuff. And yeah, I'm using a light pencil, a 2B or a HB, and then a darker pencil as well. So I've got a 4B here, but you could go really dark, and you could go like for an 8B and a nice hard pencil too. I've also got some Uniball, some pens, so little ballpoint pens for later on. Don't need that, but if you've got a pen or a biro or something for later on, that would be great. And I've got some Sharpies too, to just put in some shadows and some dark areas. Might use that, might not. We'll see how it goes. So how's everyone doing? Say hi and let me know where you're from. Oh, we've got Lucy. Brilliant. Nikki, hiya. Thanks for joining. So yeah, no rulers. We're going to be drawing a lot of straight lines, but no rulers. Okay, that's the only rule. What else have we got? If you're watching live or if you're watching the recording, whatever's. Oh right, yeah. We needed to add something to the head. Nice, thank you. If you're watching live or the recording, please smash that like button, and let me know that you're joining in the chat or the comments too, and let me know where you're coming from. So it's been a funny old week, hasn't it? Midway through this second lockdown, and I feel like it's time to forget about all that and do some drawing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So Sophia, yeah, stay for as long as you like. You can always, watch later on, watch the recording later on and catch up. Let's have a look at the schedule. Let's do this. So cars, yep. We're going to do a nice warm up. Boxes and tires, boxes and wheels, because essentially that's what cars are, aren't they? They're boxes on wheels. So we're going to a couple of 2-minute warm ups there to really get us thinking in the right zone. Then we're gonna do like a really simple car, which is a Ford Bronco. I know my cousin Lucy loves a Ford Bronco, so that's for her. But we're gonna start with that real simple kind of like what's it? It's like a Jeep, isn't it? It's like a off-roader, because it fits in a box. It's real nice and simple to get our head around the process. I'm going to take you step by step through that drawing process, starting with the character and proportions, putting it in perspective, and the wheels, rendering motion, everything. And then from there, we're going to draw a Porsche, a nice 1980s Porsche, about 25-minute drawing. Take that tea break, stay hydrated, and we're going to come back and do a Ford Mustang for another 25 minutes. So this, 25 minutes might not seem like a lot of time, but you could always, continue it on later, or if you want to carry on drawing it. But I think nice to keep them fairly short and sharp so that we can get as much practice in as possible. And then to finish off, we're going to do a freehand challenge. So we're going to do 3 different cars in 5 minutes, and that's where we're going to use the pen. So if you've got a ballpoint pen or a biro, grab that, because we're going to use all of this information but use it immediately. When I say freehand, I mean just putting it down without too much kind of building blocks in the way, too much preparation. We're just going for it. So yeah, that would be putting our learning to the test there. So hi Jolchen from Germany. Guten Tag. yeah, let's get into it. So, warm up. Get your paper ready, get your pencil ready. Starting with some boxes. Now, I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this. I want you to draw different boxes, and I want you to draw them like as if they were see-through. So that here we've got some Amazon parcels come through, but I want you to imagine them if they were made of glass or something. So I'll give you an example. Something like this. Okay. And there we go. We can see that back and back sides. You know, whoop, we can see the back edges, can't we? Of the shape. So I want you to see through the object. You can use these as references and as a guide, or you can just make up your own boxes. So 2 minutes. Try and keep them in perspective. You know, try and keep these converging lines, these edges, converging to a point of perspective, but we're intentionally not going to be using sort of converging lines and like, you know, meeting at a point today, because we want to get used to drawing without that, okay, without that kind of grunt work of putting in the perspective points and everything. So just you know, do them as best you can, and I'll explain the reason why we do it as we go. So 2 minutes. See-through boxes. Hi Teresa from Southend. Hi Old Man Grey. Brilliant, good stuff. Right, so see-through boxes. Start with the leading edge. That can help. And let's just draw some different shapes. Nice, strong, straight lines. Okay, they don't have to be too accurate, but just get some boxes down. Try and wipe away them cobwebs. I'm going to try and copy a few of them from the board there. Okay. Right, I'm gonna change position and get a bit better at these boxes. Right, add a little bit more light so we haven't got quite so much shadow on the page. So nice, confident straight lines. There we go. What else have we got? What about this tall, thin one here? Okay, time's up. Finish your last box. There we have it. Some nice see-through boxes and a quick little exercise. Hope you're feeling a little bit warmed up and ready for the wheels now. So wheels, I've got a load of different tires here, and I want to just go through the process of drawing a wheel in perspective and an angle. And there's a really kind of nice little tip that we've got here. So when you know, if you imagine drawing a circle in a box like this, okay, we can find the middle of that box by drawing a cross. There we go, we've got the middle of the box, the middle of our wheel. And now if we go lines out from that in sort of a union flag shape, here you've got 4 points to make that circle. Okay, so if you connect these 4 points, you're going to have a nice even circle. Okay, so that's kind of the makeup of a circle. And now, if you notice, these wheels they're being tilted, aren't they? They're in perspective. So what's happening is that box, we're seeing the side of that square. Okay, we can find the center by putting that cross on. Make our union flag, and there's our 4 points again. Oh, well, actually, I've actually done I've actually done a rectangle in perspective. So here we go again. It would be flatter than that, wouldn't it? We'd see less of the square. There you go. So there are our points. They're the 4 points, and then we connect them. Okay, and what you'll notice is it's thinner. So what I didn't do here is I didn't apply the perspective to the square. So not this one, but here you'll notice the wheel is turning away from us. You know, it's getting thinner. So as wheels do that, they get thinner and thinner and thinner. And it's really good practice to be able to do that freehand, nice and easy, kind of, what's the word, how to describe this? Kind of free flowing. So instead of shapes like this, which I call the eye, where you've got points meeting at either side, or shapes like this, which I call the cow, okay, because it's got straight edges. We want nice even curves all the way around for that ellipse. So let's spend another 2 minutes and practice drawing some ellipses. And what I want you to do is first draw some long axes and short axes, and you can put on them dots. Okay, and then we're going to connect them dots up. So you can do it that way, or you can do it freehand. 2 minutes, let's do it. Here we go. So I'll be connecting these dots. And try and do that in a nice smooth motion. That one's really thin up there. Let's try and do that. So really thin, we've got 4 dots, and that short axis is really close together. I'm going to try that a few more times. So just try putting on that short axis, that long axis, and connect the dots. And it doesn't matter if it's a bit rough, if it's a bit loose. Absolutely fine. Just getting the idea. And if you do lots and lots of lines, you know, the eye picks out the best lines and the lines that are going to work, and then and later on we can tidy them up. You know, we can come in with some pen or some darker pencil and just choose the right lines. So we're allowed to get it wrong at the beginning and put down lots of different lines, and then out of them select the right ones. So I'm going to do some more crosses, perhaps. Long axis, short axis. Notice I'm using holding the pencil like this, so I've got the bottom of the pencil touching the paper like that, so I can get a nice free flowing hold on the pencil. There we go. Time's up. finish the last few ellipses. There we go. Brilliant. Right, any questions about the ellipses, about the boxes? I know we're going quick, but it was just a bit of a warm up. Shout out to Teresa. Cool. Let's do it then. The Bronco. I'm going to take you through my drawing process, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw this car side on, and then we're going to put it in perspective, and we'll do that for most of the cars this evening. And doing that, it's a really good opportunity to kind of understand the character and the main shapes of the car. You know, what makes this car unique? That's what we want to see on the page. I'm not interested in, you know, rulers, really accurate drawing or photo-like copying. That's great, but what I want to see tonight is the character of the car. You know, a bit of movement, a bit of, you know, so you can recognize the car straight away, just a glance, and that's the character. So we'll get into that. So Sophia, we're going to draw the boxes for the cars first. I'm going to take you through that process, and then right at the end of tonight, we're going to be doing them freehand and using all of this kind of in our subconscious. So we won't be doing the boxes then. Okay, so first let's break this down. I want you to start by drawing this box, okay? And so you're going to have to be careful to get it the right height and the right length, okay? Look at that ratio, okay? And then we're going to half that and then half it again. And these are going to give us some nice guidelines so that we know where to put the wheels. You know, we know where to put the axle, the wheel arches and everything like that. So let's start with that first box. I'm going to try and get it on the screen here. And what's important is the ratio of height to width. Lightning fell on me. Okay, nice. Straight lines. It's looking a bit wonky on the screen, but I promise you my lines are straight here. Now, let's divide that now, and we'll be able to see more easily if we've got the right ratio. It's much easier to see these little boxes than it is the whole shape. So here we go. We can check the center by measuring it with our pencil. So I was a little bit off. That's the center there. Straight line down. Estimate the center there. Check it by pinching your pencil like that. Yeah, so not far off. There we go. Let's estimate this one as well. So we've got, I think more or less, I've got the ratio right. You know, if your boxes here are really thin, then you can take up this line and you can improve the ratio. If your boxes are really wide, then, you know, perhaps you need to make the car taller. Okay, and that will fix that problem. But once we've got this grid, now let's look at where the car touches the outer borders. Okay, so where is it touching this grid? So look at that front bonnet. It's quite a way up. It's not halfway. It's quite a way up. So let's put that on there. It's touching there. And then there's some negative space here, isn't there? There's some space that it's not touching. We've got the wheel touching there, just to the right of this line, and the wheel touching here to the left of this line. We've got a straight line all the way across there. and the back of the car touches there, and then the top of the car, top of this Bronco is touching there. And look at that. So we've got this roll cage, and then it drops down a little bit, and really important to get the point at which the windshield, the windscreen is cutting into the car. So it's a little bit away in from the center, and let's try and get that angle right. There we go. So that's the basics, the real basics for us to now to put on more of the shape of this car. So let's do that. Let's kind of connect the dots, you know, but looking at what the character of the car. So we've got this lovely kind of rectangular shape through the middle there. Look at these wheel arches. And wherever you're drawing, make sure you're referencing the grid and checking that you're in the right place. Now these wheel arches are going to be on the same level, so we can do a guideline there and make sure that they're on the same level here. I like to use straight lines first to make sure the proportions are correct, and then we'll come back and we'll round off the curves. There we go. Let's put in this roll cage. Where does that side window finish? Just to the right of the middle of this? Something like that. There we go. We've pretty much got the body of the car there blocked in. Don't forget sort of the other bits like a bumper at the front, at the back. Not so important. But now let's put on the wheels. So we've got to gauge, you know, the suspension, how far down the wheels are going to be. And there's quite a gap here in the wheel arch. So we'll just place the top and the bottom of the wheel like that. Maybe it's a little bit lower down. Okay, and then the sides of the wheels. Might bring this wheel up just a little bit. I feel like it needs to come up just a tad. And we'll do the same here. They can be in line, make sure it's in line with the other wheel. So there we are, we've got our long and our short axis, which they're actually all the same, aren't they? They're all the same at the moment because we've got a flat side on wheel. And then join the dots. Connect the dots. There we go. So there we have it. That's the base, the main kind of proportions and the basic kind of character of this Bronco. But before we move on, let's just add a bit more of that character, spend a little bit more time on it and really get the character out of this drawing. So these wheel arches curve nicely. Some nice rivets. That indent in the car there, it's lovely. So we're putting a bit kind of harder lines down now, and really describing the character of the car. But not too much detail, just suggestions. I think the door is quite important here. These hinges, they look quite cool. Just put the inside of the wheels in, just go a little bit further in. Okay, there we go. Here's that nice character of the Bronco. Could fill in them wheel arches with a bit of shade. Okay, and we can just carry on from there. So there's no real stopping us if we just carry on. So, but what we wanted to do is get the proportions and the side angle. And now let's put it into this. There we go. That's the Bronco again, without the lines. And now let's put it into this. There's our the character lines, making sure they get proportion. And here's our side view. Okay, so you're ready. You've got your first sketch. Put that to the side, or draw on a different bit of your page. That first sketch is going to come in handy when kind of as a reference for this next drawing. Now we've got another level of perspective to play with here. We've got that next dimension, and that this is where them boxes are going to come in handy. So I've gone ahead and drawn a box around the Bronco here, just like we were doing before. Okay, so not a lot of perspective, but there's definitely a good tilt, a good side view. We can see 45 degree of the car, really showing off its character. And what's really important is that green line at the bottom. See that green line? And that's showing us where that leading edge of the box is. Okay, that's showing us that ratio. So before we do anything else, let's put that line on. Okay, so I'm going to try and fit it in here so we can see so you can see it on the camera. But we're going to put that line on. So, oh, I've knocked the camera. Nice straight line. And where's that leading edge intersecting? It's not halfway. It's a little bit over to the right. Something like that. Okay, and that's really going to help us out. So if you get that on your page now, that line and that ratio. So we're looking at the difference between this line and this line here, and we're trying to match that on the screen. Okay, more or less. Now once we've got that, we know where to place our leading edge for the box. So we can put that leading edge now. We're drawing this red box that's around the car. Okay, this edge is here. This edge is here. Just nice light lines. We're just sketching and giving ourselves that guideline, so we can rub these lines out later, no problem. Now, let's think about the horizon line, the eye level. So the person that's taken this picture, they can't see the top of the car and they can't see the bottom of the car. So that leads us to believe that they're sitting or standing, but probably crouching next to the car. Okay, because they're probably their eye level is level with the headlamps of the car. So they're about halfway through. So let's put a line in the center. That's our horizon line. And then we know that the top is going to slope down downwards here, and the bottom is sloping upwards there towards that horizon line. Let's try and put that in. Try and get that angle. There's not much perspective, but there's a fair bit. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then this back of the car, let's put that in as well. There we go, and we've got that kind of wireframe to put this car in now. So have a go if you can at drawing that red box. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be exact. Now, the next slide, you see we're putting that knowledge, we're putting what we learned in that first sketch, that character and the shape of the car. Now we're going to put that onto the side, essentially, of this perspective drawing. Can you see that that's the same bit there, and we can just plaster that there, and there we've got the side of the car. And everything's the same, you know, the middle of the car is the same part, meeting the same part of the door. The wheels are meeting them other yellow lines at exactly the same points. Okay, just in perspective this time. So we can do that. We can find the center of this box by doing the cross. There we go, we've got our line. We can eyeball the other boxes, eyeball the other lines, come in. Okay, so that's the top of the car, that's the back edge. Okay, where's this leading edge? Okay, we put a few little points on now. Put a few little points. Now, let's go back to the box. And we've got to take a bit of a leap of faith and draw in the rest of this car. So draw the rest of it. But we're going to break it down into its, you know, simplest shape. So essentially, we've got a rectangle here for the body. Okay, there's the rectangle for the body. I'm starting to think this line should come in just a little bit more. Okay, now there's our windscreen point. Really important where the windscreen is. Go along from there. Okay, get that windscreen in. Come back. Down the car. Let's put these roll cage. Let's put this roll cage in. What about the what about them what they call the wheel arches? Let's put them in too. We can draw in the top of the wheel arches in position. sure they line up. Okay, and even these wheels. So I'm going to take away the grids now, and we're going to be eyeballing the rest. But we've got, you know, kind of enough there to go off of. So top of the wheels. And these are going to be in perspective. We're drawing that first, that face, that top face of a cylinder for the wheels here. Okay, really important to look at that width. Just put something in, just block it in. Look at that nice silhouette shape underneath the car. You can block that in. There's that detail around the side of the car. Right, now let's look at the front. So we haven't seen the front of the car yet until now, but it's got this lovely grille, quite a simple shape, just a rectangle. So we can plop that in. I'm going to make it just a bit less. I've put just a bit too much perspective in. Okay, it can be easy to do. There's almost no perspective on that because that's where the eye level is. There's almost no perspective, so it's going to just look like a rectangle. Probably put too much on the rest of the car too. That's okay. Now let's speed it up a little bit and just look for the essentials. So there's some headlamps. What does this far wheel line up with? It lines up with the edge there of the car. There we go. Something like that. So yeah, I feel like we're going to see a little bit more of this far wheel. So the important thing with wheels is they're essentially two discs connected. Okay, so you're drawing that circle shape. We're going to draw it twice, and then we're just connecting them, and then you can put in your any kind of detailing on the inside the wheel, and any kind of tread marks on the wheel too. But yeah, we've got a bit too much perspective on this. Let's take a step back. There we go, two discs. Canyonero, Canyonero. Look at all them axles and everything in there. Fantastic. Right, so we've got an essential, the bare bones again, and now it comes to the point where we've got the side view. We've got that character. We've put that on now in that 3D perspective, and a lot of our lines, they're kind of, some of them are right, some of them are wrong. You know, these wheels look a bit wonky, but that's okay. We can use this time now this next kind of rendering stage to fix any of them problems. Take a step back, look at the shadows, look at what's wrong. So I can see here that my wheels are way above this this line here. I haven't got the suspension right on my wheels. So it's important to take that step back and really, reassess. Let's rub them out. There's a lot more space in that wheel arch, isn't there? A lot more space. There we go, it's looking a bit better, a bit more healthy. So it's important to, be ruthless and take stock and look at what you've done, and keep checking, using anchor points around the car to check what you've done. But now we're going to get rid of some of these guidelines and go in with a bit more of a harder pencil, or just pressing a little bit harder if you've only got one pencil. I'm going to try and do a little bit of rendering, get a little bit of movement or shine on the car. Just getting rid of some guidelines. Now, just before I do that, I want to show you this awesome book that my dad gave to me when I was young. You can see it's coming apart, and I believe that his dad gave it to him as well when he was just a young boy. So it's gone way back in our family, and that's absolutely wonderful book. It's by John Raines, Drawing Cars. I really love it, but you can see it's all fallen apart. But I wanted to show you these illustrations in particular from that book, because of the way he shows movement. Now, can you see here? There's not really all that much in terms of line work on the car. It's very minimal, but then the shadow side of the car has got lots of movement here, lots and lots of streaking lines. Can you see that? Hold on. Maybe that's better. Lots of streaking lines showing this movement of this car accelerating away. And what's important is this pole and the background hasn't got the movement, okay? Because then we've got a little bit of contrast. We've got movement and something that's still. So that's one option when rendering. We can put the car in movement with lines and the background still. And the second option is simple effects. Second option is this one, okay, where the car is more or less in focus and more or less, say you're particularly proud of some line work in the grille, or you're particularly proud of something, but you want it to still have movement. Well, you can put movement in the background. Okay, so you've got the car is still, but there's lots of nice movement in the background, making it seem like it's moving. And notice that the wheels, are blurry. There's not really much detail, and there's detail where it's needed. Okay, and detail where it's needed, and not too much time has been spent kind of getting absolutely everything right. It's the essentials and the things that are showing off the real true character of these cars, such as the wheel arches here, this beautiful shape on the bonnet, and especially the grille. So let's go back to our drawing. It's falling apart. Let's go back to our drawing. We've got a lovely kind of base sketch here. Maybe we can lighten it up just a little bit. And what we're going to do now is try and put some chosen lines and be a bit selective with what we're putting on here to really show the character and some movement. So I'm going to go with movement on the car, and as I do that, we're going to try and fix some of the issues with the proportions. I can see, for example, this part here. What's happening with the character of this car? So there we go. Let's fix that. And shiny surfaces, cars, they're going to be full of high contrast. Okay, that means like dark lines next to bright areas. Okay, this kind of high contrast, and that's going to show off that shine of the car, show off that shine of the vehicle. You can even see the horizon line being reflected in the side of the car here. So maybe we can get some of that in too. Okay, and we're going to be very directional with our marks. So let's have a go. We've got that, all that hard work's been done. Now we can go in and have some real fun with it. But be analytical, you know, correct things as you go. Just try and pick up you don't have to draw everything, just pick up the dark parts, you know, the most interesting parts that your eye's drawn to. Look at that lovely shadow underneath that. Lovely shadow. Look at this kind of curving shape. Look at that. Wonderful. This really is I believe the fun bit. Let's get this wheel arch. Curves there. Goes straight. Comes back down. Lovely. Let's get the other one. Make sure it's in line. See, I'm using the side of my pencil, using real broad strokes here. Just gonna be rough with it. Get these essentials in. There's the horizon. Let's bring the car down a bit more. I think I was being a bit timid with how much of the car I was showing there. Now we can really attack these wheels. Let's fill in that wheel arch with some nice dark pencil lines. You know, this is a rough, ready car, so we can be rough and ready with our pencil marks, can't we? We can express some of that character. I'm not drawing all of the headlamps, but kind of putting some real dark parts in there to suggest some shine. Okay, look at this grille. We could put some dots in there to suggest that. Doesn't have to be accurate. Just get something in. Maybe make it a little bit more uniform, but it doesn't have to be. It's a suggestion. Just silhouette out anything else. These roll bars, you know, really simplify what you see. How long have we spent on this? Quite a while. we'll be wrapping this one up very shortly. Now I want to focus on the wheels for a minute with you. Let's get that. Now I want to focus on the wheels for a little bit. So really, really key here. Look at this front wheel. Look at the reference there. It's going from light. So we've got the darkness of the wheel arch, and then all of a sudden we're hit with a band of reflection. We're hit with some light from that bouncing off that shiny wheel. Well, not shiny, but kind of silky, rubbery wheel. And then it's going immediately dark. And you can see that dark ring isn't going all the way around. It's just that top part there. It's just there. So that's what we need to focus on. Okay, and then we've got this chrome alloy, but not all of the chrome alloy is visible. We can, the middle of it is really close to this right side. So there are all real key points. And even at the bottom here, we've got that reflection, and then we've got this real dark band. So they're the things we're going to look at. We're going to forget that it's a wheel almost, and go directly in for them lights and them darks. So here we go. Let's go in for that real dark there. Use the side of the pencil, whatever you've got to hand. Be brave. Can you see that? It's almost like two brackets. Dark there and dark there. And then you've got this alloy. And it's got some nice holes in it. Okay, we can sketch in a bit of this darkness. And now look at the bottom of the tyre. Let's put in some shadow there to show that bottom of the tyre there. Okay, so just focus on the shadows. There's some shadow here, and the wheel will come alive. Okay, let's do the same for the one here. Be quick with it, be rough with it. There's some shadow, there's some shadow. Block it in. There we go. Let's get some of that, whatever's going on in there, axles and whatnot. And this far wheel, we just want to see a little bit of a lighter side on the on this side of the wheel, a little bit lighter, and then the rest of it can just be in darkness. It can just be in shadow. Something like that. And this bit is just a little bit lighter. Okay. So we're more or less there. Make sure we've got that real characteristic mark there. Go up, bolden things. Got the exhaust. Okay, more or less we are there. Okay. So what happened there? We've got some shadow. We started off with the kind of flat, let me show you. started off with the flat kind of. Here we go. Maybe this wheel's a little bit wonky here, a little bit of a flat. That's okay. We can just go back and look at the shadows, focus on the shadows, forget that it's a wheel, and it will come together. Now, what did we do? We started with that side plane and looked at that character, put it into the box. Okay, gave ourselves a few little pinpoints, and really imagined the car as more blocks. So like a rectangle for the main body, a little rectangle for the cab at the top, or not the cab, the windshield, and roughed everything in. And then we went back in and corrected some mistakes, put in some energy, put in some character with a real thick chunky pencil. So well done, everyone. I hope you've got I hope you've got a nice drawing out of that. And what we're going to do now is jump into another one. Let's do it. Let's do it. So just tighten that wheel up a second. I've got that other wheel behind it, causing it to look a bit funny. So let's jump into this next one. And a real lovely car, real lovely shape. We've got this Porsche 911, 1980s. Okay, and now we're going to put some timers on. Okay, because I think we got a little bit carried away with that one, but we'll make sure we get some timers. So first of all, we're going to do that first exercise with the blocks. Get that side view in, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Let's do this. So let's get that box, and I'll get you used to kind of drawing quickly, used to drawing straight lines quickly. It's all good practice. Pardon me. See, I wasn't quite in the center there. Isn't that funny? I always seem to put the center further to the left. Wonder if you do the same, or maybe you put it further to the right. But if we know that, know that habit, we can catch it. Right, yeah, more or less my ratios are okay. So let's just go for it. This is really, really interesting shape. Where does the car touch? The tops and the sides. Let's just quickly sketch it in. Absolutely beautiful shape. So don't be too precise, just get the character in. Wheel arches are really important. Oops. Look at this lovely window. side window. Look at that shape. Almost looks like a boat or something. And these angles coming down from the window. Make sure you give it enough of a bonnet, otherwise it'll look like a little mini. Now the Porsche is really curved on the sides, and these lines that the door make are great at kind of showing off that character, showing off that beautiful line. So I wouldn't always put every detail in, but the lines of the doors are often very good at showing off that body shape. Okay, last 10 seconds. Just a quick sketch. I think the bonnet needs to come a bit further forward, perhaps, but I'll keep that in mind for the next sketch. So we've got something more or less the shape, and now we can move on to the next sketch. Well done, everyone. Keep that in eye view. Now I've got the vehicle facing away from this time, so for a little bit of a different angle, and it shows the lovely shapes of the car and that kind of the wheel arches and everything. So let's see how we're going to attack this. There's our box. So if we can imagine that car sitting in one of them Amazon packages, you know, like a little model car, that would be the smallest box we can fit it in. And now we can more simply sketch on that box as that wireframe. So let's do that. Start with the leading edge. Let's have a look. So where's that leading edge? Just to the left of the center. Something like that. Just going to check it. Yeah, something like that. So you could check it with your pencil against the screen, and just another way to see if the ratio is right. Now, that leading edge, sides of the boxes, that we've got 20 more minutes for this one, so we've got to act quickly, we've got to sketch quick. And now let's be careful not to put too much perspective on like we did last time. The viewer, that I did, I'm not saying you did, but the camera angle here is probably a little bit higher up the car. I was thinking it might be in line with the either that back spoiler or the top of the car, but there's almost no perspective up near the top of the car, so we can just do that with a straight line. And as we judge how far this is coming down, we can just very slightly put on a little bit of perspective, but not too much, just very slightly. So instead of these lines being straight, they're just curving They're just angling, not curving, sorry, they're angling just slightly towards the vanishing point. See, I might have even done too much there. Okay, there's our box. Oh, what happened to the timer? Sorry about that. So really important that we get the ratios right here as well. So I might, this box might be, the one that I've drawn might be a little bit too tall. And if that's so, we can just shave it down a little bit. Shave off a little bit of the top of the box. But now I want to get away from kind of just copying the boxes and really start to feel the solidity, feel the forms. Right, so where's that spoiler interacting? Maybe about there. Okay, that's the spoiler. I'm going to go along from there and create sort of a rectangle for the car here. Be careful not to put too much perspective. Here's the edge of the car. So where was that windscreen? Not too far forwards. Make sure we leave enough space. Try and, if you feel a bit lost, look for the negative space. So this area is negative space, this area is negative space. And that, at this stage, will guide you back on track, and then you can start to see some of the solidity, some of the form again. Here we go, is that back bumper. As long as we get that character of the car. So what's important here? That beautiful shape. Let's get that in. Want to leave ourselves some time to do some, to rub out the guidelines and do some rendering. So let's just block in as much as we can. Now look at the, I'm going to take away the guides now. look at the hold on a second. Here we go. Look at the underside of the car, right? What's that silhouette, that shadow, that there's some negative space in here. Look at that triangle there. Okay. What's happening here? It's coming along. Now, really important to look at the height of the wheels. You know, if you've got one wheel up here and one wheel down here, look at the height of them and make sure they're in the right place. I can see that number plate. I see that wheel's just off to the left of that number plate. So just little anchor points, just sort of going around the car and noticing things. Put that spoiler on. Okay, if you're having trouble, come back, check your side view. Okay, check that against this side of the car. So I feel like this wheel ought to come back this way slightly, perhaps. Move the wheel arch back a little bit. Hey Genesis, sorry I joined so late. We're going to take a break after this one, and then we're going to come back and draw a Mustang. So if you want to join in for that one, and then we've got a that's going to be, you know, in 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to do some freehand pen challenge sketches as well. So freehand sketches. So there's still plenty to do. Don't you worry. So put in multiple lines for them wheels. And then when we come to render, we can choose them shadows, choose them shadow areas, and really get the character of the wheels. Look at the door gaps in the door there, really showing the form of the car. Wonderful. Look at that wrapping round. Okay, we're going to wrap up the sketch now and start to do some rendering. Start to look for them shadows. And I said I wasn't going to say the S word last week, but shadows are so important. Look at this wheel arch, it's just a bit higher up. we have it. Yeah, it's a beautiful Porsche, isn't it? Beautiful. I love it too. Just trying to make sense of the back of the car here, the sort of mess at the back of the car before we go into rendering. But I believe, you know, kind of a lot of that's going to be in shadow, I would imagine. It doesn't matter too much. We can simplify. Just as we don't use, you know, we don't draw every eyelash on the face, on each eye. We're going to simplify, and we're not going to draw every tire tread, not every little nut and bolt of this car. Okay. Let's go in. So I just want to say as well that the camera, for some reason, is making this look a bit like a caricature where the car comes in at an angle, but it's pretty straight the way I'm looking at it. I'll have to play with the camera perhaps in the half time and get in more in the center of the lens. Right, just over 8 minutes left, so I'm going to give it a light rub, get rid of some of them guidelines. I wonder what's your favorite car, guys. I wonder if you could have a dream car, what would it be? I'll show you my dream car in a second. I've got a little model. Get rid of some of that. Okay. Now I feel like I might go in with a Sharpie. It might be a bad idea, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So now we can go in with you know, a pen or just a darker pencil to pick out them shadows. I'm going to go in with this. It might be you know, a big mistake, but we'll see. Going to start here. Darkness there in the wheel arch. Remember, just look for the shadows. And we don't need to describe absolutely everything. Love the darkness of the wheel arches there. Really key, really expressive shape. So I don't mind if it's a bit rough. just want the character of this car. These rubber parts here are really showing off the shapes, so making sure to get them right. So if this is your first time drawing cars, well done. Okay, this is really tricky. Okay, if it's not going exactly how you'd like it, it does take a lot of practice. It does take time. But well done for jumping in and joining along. Look at that shadow that's being cast there on that by that back screen. So the back wheel can just be blocked in. We've got a minute left. Let's block in the ground shadow. And we've got some more shadowy bits to do here. That rear light there. A few little suggestions of what's inside the car, perhaps. Not too much. And last few marks. There we go, something like that. Probably gone way off the mark somewhere on that, but lots of fun. Let's give that a few of these cast shadows. There we go. We'll leave it there. We'll take a 5-minute break. We have the Sharpie Porsche. Maybe a bit more shadow, just to give it some you know, so it's really sitting on the ground. I might block in some of that ground shadow a little bit more. But yeah, well done everyone. Thanks for joining along. We've got 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the Mustang and some more sketches, some more quick ones. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. Take a break, or you can sketch this car if you like. We'll be back in 5. Oh yeah, let me know your dream car. What's your favorite car? And we'll have a look after the break.
Give it a go, yeah?
Hey, we're back. Thanks, Max.
No worries.
Right. Hope you had a nice little break. Dream cars. Right. So Billy Robertson has said Aston Martin DB5. Wicked. That's we've only got one dream car in the chat, so you've missed your chance. That's it. But I'm going to show you mine. The Rally 206. I know it's a bit ridiculous, but from the Colin McRae days on the PlayStation 1, absolutely fell in love with this car. And the 206 was my first car. Not quite the Rally edition, but yeah, tick that off the list. Dream car achieved. not quite as good as an Aston Martin DB5, but I'll give you that. Right, what are we doing now? Mustang fastback. Let's do it. We've got another 25 minutes on this bad boy, so let's do this. Look at this. Look at the beautiful lines on this. There's great reflections. So find a new bit of paper in the sheet or make some room, and let's have a go. So again, we're going to block in the basic shapes. Here we go. 5 minutes. There's our grid to give us a bit of an idea for the character of this car. Let's do it. So breaking it into 4, make sure halfway is in the right place. There we go. More or less, the ratio is there. More or less. Now we can jump in just by putting some marks where the car touches the edges of the box. Really important to get an idea of where the wheels are set on the car. And there we go, sort of connecting the dots and thinking about nice, confident lines showing the character. Oh, and I forgot to mention earlier, we're going to look at your work at the end of today's stream. So if you want to share it using the hashtag Jake's Art Club, we'll be able to see it on screen, which is always a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll put that up on screen in a minute, but it's down at the bottom as well. Jake's Art Club on Instagram. So if you've got maybe a drawing you're proud of, or you want to send them all in, they're all, you know, however they came out, I want to see them, to be honest. Yeah, send them in. I'd love to have a look and share them with the community. Here we go. this fastback shape, beautiful shape there. I think my proportions were a little bit out. I've gone a bit stumpy again. That's okay. You know, I always say drawing is just constantly correcting. So you put one bad line down in on the page and then you're correcting from there. It's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and move these a little bit further out. What's important? What strikes you about this car? What makes it unique? Look at this awesome shape here. You must capture that. And these like gills running down the side of the car there. Last few seconds, let's put on some shadow. Lots of lines for the wheels. Lots of lines. There we go, something like that. Okay, ready to move on to the 3D 4D. Where's Skippy? He's asleep in the other room. Yeah, I just went and gave him a kiss, but I didn't want to wake him up and bring him in. Look at this picture. This is amazing. It's awesome. And let's have a look at the perspective. Just going to bring in a timer because I forgot to load it for this one. There's a 20-minute one. And there's our first box. Let's try and get that down and I'll start the timer. Good luck, everyone. So next week we're going to do figure drawing. I know quite a few people are looking forward to that, as it's going to be a little bit like the lockdown drawing that we did in April, May time. So I hope to see you next week as well. And if you've got any suggestions of what to do these sessions for, you know, if you've got an idea for a subject, let me know. Happy to take on any subject and do a practice session. Bit more perspective on this one. Let's try and get them angles right. Okay, so one way we can get the angles right is by looking at where the box, where these meet, okay, and how far up that is on the page. So we know that the one on the right hand side is really quite far up, and the one on the left hand side is lower down. So we can kind of see the top of the car here. This picture's probably been taken from a truck or like a Jeep or something slightly higher up than the Mustang. So we're going to be able to see the top of the vehicle. Hi Epic Thunder, how's it going? Grab a pencil, join in. We've got some quick fire sketches after this, and if you send your work in, we'll be able to see it on stream, do a little review. Right, we've got our box in. Now let's start from that leading edge and make some basic rectangles for the car. Where is the windscreen? Really important. Chuck that on. So I put my car's actually a little bit lower down the box than it should be. Blocking that again, that look for the good shapes. It's real descriptive shapes. Good luck with your channel. Hope it goes well. This is a Mustang, fastback Mustang. I think it's a 1968 Ford Mustang fastback. So they're thinking back to our initial sketch. What were the things that made this car stand out? This awesome line down the side. Okay, and if you're drawing lines like this, just let them extend. Okay, let them just go perhaps a little bit further than they need to. Real nice expressive drawing. I'm going to bring the car down a little bit. I feel like I put too much of on the top of the car. I'll come back to that in a second. Right, so we've got this front grille and we need to know where to put the Mustang logo. We can use a cross, just as we were doing earlier on, to find that center point. Okay, so more or less here. And now we know that that Mustang logo is going to be in around about there on that front grille. Get this chrome wrapping around the body there. I'm actually surprised we've got so many viewers because we're doing cars. I would have thought that everyone would be scared off. Well done, guys, for giving it a go and sticking with it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's see if I've forgotten anything. So no, I just want to mention something. This short axis is going to be following the axle of the car. Okay, and then we can put our long axis perpendicular to that. Okay, and then now we know that this point and this point at the top is the widest point of that ellipse. So once you've got that, we can go in and put it on. So a little bit, just a bit a different, I feel like I've gone too ham on that front bit of the car, haven't I? Bring it back a bit. Mustn't focus on the details, just the main shapes. Easier said than done. Okay, so we can do this the same with this back wheel. Look at that axle. Where's that center of the wheel? And then perpendicular to that. And then we can do some circles to get a nice shape on that wheel. Nine minutes left, so we can make sure we've got all the sketch in, and then start doing some rendering. Thanks, dude. Do I know how fast it's going, or how fast it can go? I don't know. Anyone in the chat want to hazard a guess? Maybe 120, something like that. Don't know. Quite an old car now. Oh man, you can draw. You'll be able to draw. Just got to give it some time. It's just like anything, you know. Give it some time. Give it some. If that's, you know, if you're not into drawing, fair enough. But if it's something you enjoy, if you give it time and you give it some of your focus, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Right, 7 minutes left. So let's take away that silly box and let's focus on the rendering now. So get rid of any guidelines. And remember, we want high contrast, shiny surface, lots of darks, lots of lights. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's put in the shadow. I'm going to grab the 4B pencil, wherever it is. Here it is. Uh, 68 fastback, yeah. Okay, here we go. Remember to take a step back, you know, reassess, and then attack it. Let's do it. To this sideline here, this is beautiful darks. Let's get them in nice and clear, and just be nice and confident with the pencil. We're just going off the character. Chrome bumper is going to have some real nice darks on it. Just got to trust our drawing from earlier and go in, suggesting. There we go. Side of the car catching the light there, isn't it? These marks. Just look and see if you can see where it's catching the light. Miles an hour. It feels like we're drawing that fast at the moment. See, that should be, I've got it up there and I should be going across to keep with the speed, keep with the movement of the car. Let's try again. There we go. I can go up here. Focus on them darks. Got a little bit of reflection coming up from the road. So the wheels are blurred. We don't have to put every little detail in there. We can suggest a lot of it, and that will help with some movement. Just pick out the lights. Another 30 seconds. Let's get some of that shadow in. Not so happy with this front wheel. But more or less there. Take a step back, check the character. What's missing? Maybe just a touch of dark somewhere will help it pop. Have a little squint. Reassess. I think darker here. Something like that. Cool. And don't forget, this is really quick for a car drawing. 25 minutes or something. Really, really quick. Not a lot of time at all. Well done, everyone. I'm not sure. We're going to do some quick fire sketches now. So another 15 minutes of drawing, and choose a biro or a pen, and we're going to try and put the things we've learned here into a more kind of usable, a more direct approach. Here's my Mustang. So yeah, it looks a little bit pony, get it, on this front wheel. Again, I don't mind the back wheel, but this front wheel, just need to look at the highlights and the darks there and really give it another punch. But I'm fairly happy with the grille. Maybe that dark side of the car, I can really give it another punch of shadow. But yeah, got some movement, got some nice flowing lines, tried to all flow in one direction to give it some movement. Right, let's have a go now with some pen. So I've got this freehand challenge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 cars and 5 minutes. And I want you to not do 2 cars, just choose one of them. Ooh, just choose one of them. And with a biro or a ballpoint pen, sketch it out in that 5 minutes. Okay, you can quickly give yourself a little bit of a guide with the box, but if you can, try and imagine that guide. Okay, try and imagine the form, and just go straight for that finished detail. You know, every time we sketch something and we put in that wireframe first, we lose something. We lose a bit of the energy, a little bit of that vibrancy and spontaneity from the hand, from the pen. So if we cut out that part altogether and just go in with the darks, go in with the final rendering lines, sometimes it can come out really, really nicely. So let's do it. 5 minutes. Choose one and have a go. Oh, I just want to say, don't forget to share your artwork. Okay, hashtag Jake's Art Club on Instagram. I can't wait to have a look at your car drawings in a minute. After this challenge, we're going to take a look at your work and go through it all. So thank you. Now let's have a bit of fun with these last challenges. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to do the SS, I think. And I'm going to do these quite small. Because we don't have much time. But really don't worry if you're making mistakes and it's all over the place. Remember, we're just drawing for fun, and we're just drawing as practice. So it's probably going to be quite wonky. Okay, here we go. This gives us a real step back approach, working this small, and we can focus on what's important. Be quite loose, be quite sketchy. Just kind of taking the line for a walk. Start in one area and keep it going. Try and imagine the guides instead of putting them on. This is a really fun way to draw cars. I like to do this at a car show or something. Just go around with a pen, little 5-minute studies. See if you can get the essence. And then move on. What's the silhouette underneath the car doing? What's the shadow doing? Can you get it in quickly? marks. Last few seconds. There we go. Let's bring the camera in a little bit. So how did you get on with that quick sketch? Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Oh, that's not sure what to do. There we go. Nice quick sketch. Next one, let's do it. Choose a car and go for it. 5 minutes on the clock. That's the end of the camera. This is where the real practice starts to happen, when you start to get a feel for where the line should be, where things wrap around 3D objects. Just be real sketchy, be real loose. Give yourself that freedom. Two minutes left. page a bit. So we're forced with this minimal time to look at what's essential and block it in. Might be a little bit of a caricature of a car, but that's fine. Just go for it. Hey, Didok from Italy. Thanks for joining the stream. Hope things are going okay over in Italy. There we go, time up, time up. 1, 2, next one, quick fire round. Last one. See if we can do another 5-minute sketch. And then let's share our work. Let's go for it. Look at that old, I think it's a 4-day. Look at that, fantastic. Model A. Lovely spoilers. Oh, that's not a spoiler, is it? Well, they're like mud flaps, mud guards. Just a chance to scribble and loosen up. So I need a bit more of a cab, I think, on this. If in doubt, go for the shadows. trying to salvage the shape. It might be too far gone. Anyway, last minute. Yachts or boats, Jane says. It's a good idea. Any other suggestions for practice sessions? Anything you'd like to be able to draw that you're struggling with, perhaps? I like this sort of sketch, this sort of thing where, you take a step back and it works. There we go. Let's have a look. Well done, everyone. There are my quick sketches, freehand ones. So hopefully some of that practice in the first bit had kind of transferred over into this, and you've been thinking about the let me lift my chair up a bit. You've been thinking about the block of the car, the axles, the wheel, things wrapping around, and really looking for the shadows and that rendering, and the way we can add a bit of motion by keeping the lines in one direction, perhaps, and really focusing on the dark parts, and key characteristics such as the wheel arches and everything. So yeah, thanks so much for drawing with me. If you want to go ahead and share your work with the hashtag Jake's Art Club, you can just put it up there for a short time. It doesn't have to be forever. If you want to keep your account clean, but chuck them up there now, and in the next 5 minutes I'm going to go and check out the hashtag and see what people have been doing, and we'll take a look together. Thank you so much for supporting the stream and the channel. Let me know if you've got any other ideas for these streams, and we'll maybe give them a go. Looks like we've got it working. Yeah. There's some brilliant drawings. Brilliant. Let's have a look at your work. Okay, Cheryl, beautiful. Oh wow, look at this, the Bronco. Fantastic lines, real confident, I love that, going in with that heavy shade, and you've really got the concept there of the wheels and that lovely kind of rectangular body that kind of little Jeep thing had. Love it. Real good first one. Oh, look at this, artwork 0511. Old Man Gray's Jeep. Brilliant. This is looking great. Lovely bit of, on the rocks, climbing up. I love it. It wasn't a Jeep though, was it? Come on. It wasn't a Jeep. No, fantastic. Got the seats in there. This is looking fantastic. I really love this. Real confident lines. And it's got some action about it, hasn't it? Really does. What else have we got? The Porsche and the Bronco. Well done, Buddy Pen. Yeah. Shame it got a little bit squashed there, but you've done a really good job. You can tell that that's a Porsche. You've got the character. You've got that beautiful what's it called? The side markings of that Porsche. Wonderful detailing at the back, and that Bronco looks good. That, perhaps a little bit too much of that perspective, like I had in my one, where it's made that the front contract again, but really nice. And I like the way you've put in the shadows in them wheel arches and everything. Really, really nice. Another one by OMG, beautiful Porsche. That's a lovely sketch. That's really nice. You really, really brought that together. Very nice. Very confident marks, letting the line carry on. Nice dark shadow underneath the car. And I like the way you've held on to your shadows, and you've only used them where necessary. And you've suggested detail. You haven't gone too much into detail, but you've suggested it where it needs to be and just brought in them shadows. Brilliant. I would say that perfectly resembles the Porsche character, and really nice and accurate too. Great drawing. Here we've got Teresa with the Bronco and some nice practice sketches. First time drawing cars. Teresa, well done. Well done. It's super tricky, isn't it? Super tricky. Again, nice with the proportions, making sure you've got the top of the car where the wheels, because if we get the wheels in the wrong position, it could be, almost like a different car. It's so important. Oh, nice. Jay Bustle. Love it. Teresa, thank you. It's brilliant. Lovely. And we even got a little smiley in the reflection. Brilliant. Is that my face smiling back? Love it. Leave you in the dust. Right. Well done, Teresa. That was beautiful. Oh, look at this. There's a real character shown here. Real nice shading. Well done, Nikki. Beautiful, beautiful sketch. I think I prefer driving cars to drawing them. It's funny, isn't it? Because there's so many. They look so free and fun to draw, but actually there's so many kind of rules and the perspective that you have to follow. So it's really it can be really tricky, but these are looking great. Nikki, this is great. And really good, like this rendering this wheel, light, dark, perfect. Nice dark bits in the wheel, in the around the windows. Really nicely done. Another one by Teresa. Love it. Loving something to mix it up. You've got a daily challenge of drawing portraits. Yeah. Portrait of a car. Love it. I love that kind of streak of highlight running down the car there, giving it some motion. Brilliant. I really, really enjoy looking at these, and thanks so much for sending them in and joining in, practicing with me. Look at these quickfire rounds. Look, that VW looks fantastic. That's got the shape, hasn't it? That front, that V, that's absolutely wonderful. Really, really tricky shape, that Corvette for the second one, with them kind of animal-like wheel covers. I need to get some more car lingo. I don't know, but love these. Let's give it a refresh, see if anyone's posted any more. Thanks, everyone. We've got a few more. Look at this, Nikki with the camper van again. Love it. 5 minutes. So good. So good. And look, this is wonderful. Really got the character of them. They kind of look like slightly characterized, really, really, you've really exaggerated their features in a great way, and immediately you can see what car it is. Well done, Nikki. Yeah, there's another one by Nikki. Look at that. That's beautiful. Some fantastic shading. Really fun to draw that front part of the car, isn't it? Once you get that kind of lip there and you realize that that's in shadow, that's really fun and very descriptive. Really like that. It's got some speed to it. Love it, Nikki. Well done. And we've got another one by Thomas Zart. Thomas Z Art. 411. Brilliant. Look at this. The Bronco's on point. This is fantastic. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's that's totally convincing. That is exists in the 3D world. That's wonderful. Real nice wheel arches. Everything has been observed fantastically. Brilliant. Look at this. Wow. Thomas, I think you should be very happy with yourself. You've done a good night of sketching here. Look at that Mustang. That's fantastic. Thanks so much for sending these in. I love what you've done with the shading here, a little bit of directional and letting some of that line work come to life. Lovely Porsche. Love that wheel, that alloy. But you've captured that shape. Lovely. Porsche. Love it. I need to come up with some other words apart from love and lovely. But it's difficult, These are fantastic. And it's so fun to see these. Look at the perspective on that. That's the one from the break, isn't it? Brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed. Look at that. Just focusing on them important parts. Look at that wheel's wonderful. Oh, this is great. Real nice sketch there. Real nice. It's stepped back, it's in proportion. You've got a real knack for this. Love it. Corvette. These 5-minute ones at the end. Love it. Well done, Thomas. Well done. One last refresh, just in case. That's it, guys. Thank you. It's been a real fun. Let's get the YouTube thing up. It's been real fun drawing cars with you. Cars are one of my favorite things to draw, and it's been a good evening. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. Next week we've got figure drawing, so we're going to go back to kind of the lockdown life drawing era. So that's Wednesday, I think it's the 25th, Wednesday the 25th at 7 p.m. And if you want to let me know in the comments any other subjects you want to cover in these, we'll probably take a break for a little bit after next week, but we might come back and do some more practice sessions and keep everyone drawing and keep everyone practicing. So yeah, Lucy, it was difficult, but it was fun, right? Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for different things. We've got watercolors going on at the moment. Got loads of plans for videos and everything. So keep sketching, and I'll see you in a week. See you next week. There we go. Thanks, guys. Teresa, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me, and see you guys next week.